So what I want to do here is to examine component-based design, and in particular I want to show you how using script files we can access the components of different objects in the scene. What I have in front of me here is a terrain with a red cube, and this cube is an enemy character. You can see in the hierarchy panel that the name of this cube is enemy. And this cube is a game object, and it's made up of many different components, and these are listed in the object inspector. You can see we have a transform component, a cube component, a box collider component, and a mesh renderer component, and each of these components can be expanded and contracted separately in the object inspector. And I have created two files here, enemy and spellcasting, and these are two separate script files. And one of the first things that I want to show you is how these two script files can talk to one another by using components. So we have this enemy class, and this is going to be an enemy object. So this enemy script file is going to be attached to all enemy characters. So I'm going to drag and drop that onto my enemy character and select the object, and you can see that it's been added as an enemy component in the object inspector. This enemy component has two variables, health and magic points. Both are set to a starting value of 100. This is the health of the character, and the magic points determines how many spells they can cast. Now if this enemy character can cast spells, and let's say that he can, then I'm going to drag and drop our spell casting script onto the enemy object, and that also is added as a component, a spell casting component. So now my enemy character can cast spells. I'm just going to open up MonoDevelop to have a look at these two classes, and you can see here in our enemy.c# file we have the health properties and the magic property. I'm going to jump over to the spellcasting component, and you can see in the update function here that we check to see if the user presses the S key on the keyboard during the game, and if they do, we're going to cast a spell. Now here is the spell cast function where we actually cast the spell. Right now it's empty. We're going to be adding code to this. We get to choose the spell to cast and the number of points that the spell costs to cast. So what we want to do when we cast a spell is check whether our enemy character has enough points to cast the spell. So essentially what we need to do is to have our spell casting class, and we need it to check the value of the magic points variable here. So we need the spellcasting class to access the magic points variable in the enemy class. So we need these components, these two different components, the enemy component and the spellcasting component. They need to be able to access each other, and we're going to see how to do that next.